right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, sir. He's winning the evening already. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to our distinguished guests, our esteemed honorees, and our cherished friends of the Rumi Forum. My name is Natalie Bencivenga, and I'm a socially conscious journalist and media strategist, and it is my privilege and my joy to welcome you all to the Rumi Forum's Dialogue Awards ceremony, marking our, yes, go on, applaud, I like that. It's a good thing to applaud because we are marking our 25th anniversary, which is a milestone that speaks to a quarter century of fostering understanding, compassion, and peace through dialogue. For 25 years, the Rumi Forum has dedicated itself to bridging divides, celebrating diversity, and building a world where people of all backgrounds and beliefs can come together in mutual respect and solidarity. Tonight, we honor Imam Talib Sharif, a pioneer. Yes, go on. I love applause. I know it's not for me, but I love it. A pioneer who exemplifies these ideals, whose remarkable work lights the path towards a more inclusive and harmonious society. And this evening, we gather not only to celebrate, but to reaffirm our shared commitment to a future where dialogue, empathy, and unity prevail. In the spirit of Rumi, who once said, "Raise your words, not your voice. It is rain that grows flowers, not thunder." We come together to lift up our voices that inspire, connect, and transform our world. So thank you. Thank you all for joining us tonight to honor these incredible achievements. May the spirit of dialogue continue to guide and inspire all of us for the next 25 years and beyond. I welcome you. And now I would like to introduce Rumi Forum's Chairman of the Board of Directors, Dr. Ori Soltes, for his welcome remarks.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Iyak Shamlar. It has not been an easy year for the kind of work that Rumi Forum does, which is to bring people together of diverse faiths, diverse ethnicities, diverse genders, diverse nations, diverse perspectives. So the work that Rumi does is all the more important. It's been a difficult year. It's been a difficult week or two for many people here, still feeling very personally the passing of Rumi Forum's honorary chairman, Hoj Effendi, Fethullah Gülen, who was himself very much a champion of and a scholar of many things, including the poetry of Rumi, from whom you just heard. One of my personal favorites is the poem in which Rumi talks about the reed that has been cut from the reed bed and how it misses and wishes to go back to the reed bed and is sad as long as it is apart from the reed bed. And in Rumi's vocabulary, it's kind of a symbol of the Sufi, who at birth is cut from the reed bed, that is to say, the beloved source, Allah, God. And throughout a Sufi's life, ultimately, the hope and intention is to go back and to be reunited with the reed bed. And as a Sufi and as a scholar of Sufism, surely Fethullah Gülen exemplified and felt that. Those of us who had the privilege of knowing Fethullah Gülen feel like the reed cut from the reed bed now that he is gone, and we are bereft of him. But the thing about the reed, if you were listening to Sufi melody over there, is cut from the reed bed, punched with a few holes, and breathed through it, it makes beautiful music. So just as the human becomes inspirited by the source from which we all come, so the reed itself, quite literally, becomes a source of beauty when the proper care and attention is given to it. So those of us who remember Hoj Effendi, Fethullah Gülen, recognize in ourselves the obligation to be the reed, not just in mourning because we're cut from the reed bed, but in joy for him who went back to the beloved source, and for ourselves who must continue to do the kind of work that Rumi Forum does and that this evening is all about. So welcome, and we are so pleased to be honoring such an elegant individual this evening, and to have the award awarded by an equally elegant figure this evening. So it's a double whammy. So enjoy yourselves. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And if you would like to get any photos with any of these elegant people, please do it over here. And don't forget to tag #Rumi Forum is 25. All right, thank you so much, Dr. Soltes. So now let's welcome the chaplain of the Washington, D.C.'s Metropolitan Police Department, Rabbi Stephanie Bernstein, to share her remarks.
I'm actually one of 6 chaplains, we have over 3,000 officers and many people who work for the department who are not officers, and we are chaplains for all of them. Hine ma tovu manaim shevet achim gam yachad. How good and how pleasant it is that brothers dwell together. These words from Psalm 133 remind us that while it is always good and pleasant when we gather together, it is especially important during times of division and disunity. We are so grateful for organizations like the Rumi Forum that remind us of what we have in common, not of what separates us. I believe that grace is at the core of what we have in common. Grace is the freely given, unmerited favor and love of God. It is the subject of the powerful hymn, Amazing Grace. Whenever I hear Amazing Grace, I experience a sense of calm, comfort, relief, and peace. There is good reason that with its universal themes of redemption and forgiveness through God's mercy, Amazing Grace is performed over 10 million times each year. Amazing Grace was written in 1779 by the Anglican clergyman John Newton. Newton was conscripted into the Royal Navy at the age of 11 and later became involved in the Atlantic slave trade. His spiritual conversion occurred during a violent storm off the coast of Ireland in 1748. Newton began to study theology and later became an abolitionist. Amazing Grace gained popularity in the United States in the 19th century. Harriet Beecher Stowe added another verse to the hymn in her novel, Uncle Tom's Cabin, and Amazing Grace became associated with the civil rights movement. In the Hebrew Bible, grace, or chen, is one of the attributes of God. Chen describes God's mercy, and in particular, God's compassion for the vulnerable. The concept of divine grace appears frequently in the Hebrew Bible, here in God's self-description to Moses on Mount Sinai. Adonai passed before him, Moses, and proclaimed, Adonai, Adonai, a God compassionate and gracious, slow to anger, abounding in kindness and faithfulness. My colleague, Rabbi Daniel Kotzenberg, writes that chen is unconditional love. He says that we all have the capacity for chen to be gracious and loving in our dealings with others. It is there, deep inside of us. It's what comes to the fore when we step back, when we slow down, when we stop trying so hard. Chen, Rabbi Berg says, is a result of our deepest humanity when we access the godly part. It's what our souls wish to be, but also that which is so often checked by our egos, our fears, our expectations. Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall demonstrated grace when he dealt with segregationists during his career as a civil rights lawyer. He recalled them, one of his clerks wrote, with respect and even a kind of distant affection. People, he would say, are complicated. John W. Davis was Marshall's opponent in Brown versus Board of Education, the case in which the Supreme Court ruled that racial segregation in public schools was unconstitutional, even if the segregated schools were otherwise equal in quality. When asked what he thought of Davis, Marshall said with a smile, a good man, a great man who just happened to believe in segregation. Marshall acted with grace to those on the wrong side of one of the most important moral issues of the last century. When he was given the opportunity on national television to condemn segregationists, Marshall responded in a measured way. This was not naivete, his law clerk Stephen Clark writes. It was a mark of the genuine grace with which he viewed other people. And it was his ability to find that connection, to reach out across the greatest moral divide of the 20th century that enabled the judge to accomplish so much while maintaining his fundamental dignity and decency. Even governmental and other public entities understand that as human beings, we need grace. There was a grace period in some states for those whose driver's licenses and registrations expired during the height of the pandemic. Public libraries often grant a grace period from fines when returning overdue library books. If government entities can extend grace, so can we. Yet, when we are living through times that call forth instincts of fear and insecurity, it can be hard to tilt the balance in favor of our higher attributes. It can be a struggle to listen to what my grandfather called our good angels. Grace can help us tilt the balance towards those good angels. How do we extend grace to others and to ourselves? We extend grace when we give others and ourselves permission to be less than perfect. We can be more sympathetic to and forgiving of missteps and mishaps. We extend grace when we show kindness to others through our words and our actions. We can be less judgmental about how others live their lives. We extend grace when we respond to harsh words and rude behavior with calmness. We often cannot know what leads others to act in such ways. We extend grace when we ask for forgiveness and when we accept a sincere request for forgiveness. We extend grace when we look for opportunities to perform acts of kindness. And we extend grace when we approach interactions in a spirit of generosity and curiosity rather than cynicism and suspicion. The words of Amazing Grace remind us that God's gift of grace surrounds us, strengthens us, and guides us if only we let it in. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Tis grace that brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. May grace continue to lead us home.
That was beautiful, thank you. Rumi Forum's work is funded primarily through the support of generous individuals. So we invite each one of you to make a contribution to our special 25th year campaign with a goal tonight of raising, you guessed it, $25,000. So please make sure to take out the detailed donation form in front of you and show your generosity by making your end of year gift. Your investment has effects well beyond the many offerings that it enables, including hosting community gatherings, conferences, webinars, exhibits, panel discussions, film screenings, musical events, dinners, awards, podcasts, educational videos, skills training, and cross-tradition scriptural explorations, site visits, and along with all of these things, the Center for Faith, Identity, and Globalization, which will fulfill a vital role in realizing the forum's vision by generating qualified written outputs. CFIG will be Rumi Forum's publication unit dedicated exclusively to substantive research, and you can check out more along the far table there. And tonight we are joined by Sufi Melody, the fascinating Washington, D.C. area ensemble with a mission to foster unity and understanding among diverse communities through music, drawing inspiration from the inclusive tradition of Sufism. Sufi melody aims to create an established web of love and interconnectedness through the universal language of music among diverse cultural groups in the DMV area. So let's enjoy their mesmerizing tunes as we continue tonight's program. Please enjoy your dinner.
Rumi's quote, well-known quote, which is "Come whoever you are."
Hi, everyone. It's so good to be with all of you tonight. I hope everyone is enjoying their meal and enjoying the evening and conversation and making new friends, I hope. And as a reminder, please consider a gift. With your generous donation, we can get to our end-of-year goal of $25,000, and I believe that there are envelopes and information for you on the table. And now it is our great pleasure to invite the founder of the Rumi Forum to the stage to share the story behind this remarkable organization. For 25 years, the Rumi Forum has been a beacon for dialogue, understanding, and peace, driven by a vision of bringing people together across cultures and across faiths. So tonight, as we celebrate this important milestone, there is no one better to tell us how it all began, the mission that has guided our journey, and the challenges and triumphs that have shaped us along the way. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Zeki Saratoprik to share the inspiring story of the Rumi Forum. Dr. Zeki.
Good evening. Thank you, Natalie. And thank you, Ibrahim, for inviting me to this wonderful event. I will share with you the story of the establishment of the Rumi Forum. Today, I would like to take you back to the early days of the Rumi Forum, an initiative that was born out of a profound belief in the power of interfaith dialogue, understanding, and community. The seeds of this journey were planted while I was a research fellow at Georgetown University Center for Muslim-Christian Understanding. 25 years ago, so I'm getting old, actually, I feel that. 25 years, and then while coming here, I thought, what is the secret of 25 years? And the thing that came to my mind was that the sincerity of the founders. I was apparently the founder, but there were many other founders actually together with me, and they were very sincere. And I think that is the secret of it, the secret of continuation of this. It was here that I became deeply aware of how crucial it was for people of different faiths to really know each other, not just coexist, but engage, listen, and understand. During my time at the center, I frequently reflected on the immense value that comes from religious communities connecting with each other. This reflection led me to the idea of starting an interfaith center, a place where people could come together, share ideas, and build mutual respect. I brought this idea to some members of the Turkish community in DC area, and to my great joy, they were immediately supportive. That's why I said there were many founders. They were ready. They were inspired by the teaching of Fethullah Gulen. May Allah bless his soul. He is now in the afterlife. Let's pray for him that inshallah, God willing, his place is a place from paradise, is Jannatul Firdaus, inshallah. Their enthusiasm and dedication made the journey feel possible. But it wasn't all smooth sailing from the start. I have to say that. Some fellow Muslims, with great respect, challenged the very idea of interfaith dialogue. They came to me, they said, the religion is Islam. Inna dina indallahi al-Islam. The religion in the sight of God is Islam. What is the meaning of this interfaith dialogue? I understood their concern, but also knew in my heart that Islam itself encourages this type of understanding. I reminded them of the verse in the Quran that calls upon Christians, Muslims, and Jews to come together on a common ground. تعالوا إلى كلمة سواء بيننا وبينكم. Come to a word that is common between us, inviting Christians and Jews, especially the people of the book. However, life often has a way of revealing truth in an unexpected ways. Just 2 years after the Rumi Forum was founded, the tragic events of 9/11 occurred. Those same individuals who had questioned the need for interfaith dialogue came to me and said, "You were right. We need interfaith dialogue more than ever." In the face of misunderstanding and division, the need for these conversations became all too clear. The early days of the Rumi Forum were challenging. We even had trouble paying rent in the beginning. But the support of the Turkish community was unwavering. I remember walking along M Street in Washington, D.C., a bustling, vibrant area where the city never seems to sleep. I was saying, city does not sleep. I think it is Citibank's slogan. City does not sleep. Yes, M Street does not sleep. If you know M Street, I think you're familiar with it. And seeing a space that I thought would be perfect for the forum at corner of Wisconsin Avenue and M Street. By God's grace, we managed to secure that location. So Rumi Forum, we started there. Forum was on the second floor, and on the ground floor was Nathan Restaurant. Unfortunately, I heard that it's not there anymore, but that was like a landmark of Washington, D.C. I was thrilled. I thought, now that we have our name on the building in such a prime spot, people will surely come to us every day. But to my surprise, no one came. That is when I learned something important about American culture. In the US, people don't just show up. They come when they are invited. Now, in my understanding, that people will look at the sign and they will come, but actually that's not how it works. And so we started reaching out, sending invitations, and planning our inaugural event. When the day finally came, it was a success beyond our expectations. Scholars, government officials, and even FBI agents filled the room. I was initially worried that we might exceed the building capacity. But the fire marshal reassured me that everything was in order, so no need to worry. It was a moment that reaffirmed the importance of what we were trying to do. In those early days, one of the people who offered invaluable support was my dear colleague and friend, Father Sidney Griffith. He is now in his 80s. He told me that he doesn't travel anymore, but he is good. He's in a good health. Together, we would meet regularly, reading religious texts engaging in thoughtful discussions. Sometimes we would read passages aloud, and the people listening wouldn't be able to tell which sacred text the passage came from, whether it was from the Bible or the Quran. We were testing them, actually. Guess which this text is coming from. It was a testament that the universal truth and values that bind us all together. The Rumi Forum was born out of a desire to create a space where people of different beliefs could engage with one another and to understand each other. It was about building bridges, fostering mutual respect, and discovering the common ground that unites us. Thank you all for being here, and I hope that the work of the Rumi Forum continues to inspire us to embrace dialogue, to seek understanding, and to come together on the common ground that exists between all of us. I am so pleased to see that Rumi Forum is in good hands. Thank you all, and thank you, Ibrahim, for all the work that you are doing. Thank you very much. Have a good night, all of you.
It's just such an incredible legacy. And now, everyone, as we gather tonight to celebrate and honor the spirit of dialogue and of unity, we're also going to take a moment to remember and reflect on the profound impact of Rumi Forum's late honorary chairman, Fethullah Gulen. Mr. Gulen was a visionary and a scholar, and he had devoted his life to fostering peace, interfaith understanding, and social harmony across communities all over the world. Through his teachings, he has inspired countless individuals to serve humanity, promote compassion, and bridge divides. To honor his legacy and dedication, we invite you to join us in viewing a short tribute video that captures his life, his vision, and his enduring message of love and unity.
Fethullah Gulen Haj Effendi, an Islamic scholar, social thinker, and visionary, dedicated his life to inspiring millions with his unique vision of a peaceful and harmonious world. Born in Erzurum, Turkey in 1941, Gulen devoted himself to spreading values such as peace, education, and dialogue, believing that a balance between spiritual and material growth was essential for the future of humanity. His life's work emphasized the importance of combining intellectual knowledge with moral values, ensuring that younger generations were equipped not just with skills, but also with the virtues needed to foster a better world. Throughout his life, Gulen's speeches and writings conveyed the significance of tolerance and mutual understanding. He firmly believed in bridging the gaps between religions and cultures, and he tirelessly advocated for sincere, respectful dialogue. His efforts to bring humanity closer led to meetings with numerous religious and political leaders, including a historic encounter with Pope John Paul II. Gulen sought to foster relationships where people of different faiths and backgrounds could coexist peacefully. He believed that peace was not a distant ideal, but a practical goal that could be achieved through dialogue and mutual respect. In a landmark moment, Gulen was one of the first Muslim leaders to publicly condemn the 9/11 terrorist attacks. His message of compassion for the victims and his strong condemnation of violence in the name of religion served as a clarion call for peace in a world grappling with extremism. His courageous stance reaffirmed his belief that only dialogue, empathy, and peaceful engagement could resolve conflict and bring people together. Despite political challenges and personal persecution, Fethullah Gulen Haj Effendi's ideas resonated with individuals seeking positive social change, leading to a worldwide network of educational, cultural, and humanitarian initiatives in over 160 countries. His global influence inspired the establishment of schools, tutoring centers, and charitable organizations, all founded on the belief that education is the key to meaningful social transformation. These institutions continue to provide access to quality education, cultivate moral values, and foster a spirit of service to humanity. Gulen was also a steadfast opponent of violence in any form, believing that true transformation could only be accomplished through persuasion, never through force. He condemned extremism and terrorism, upholding that positive change must be achieved with compassion, reason, and an appeal to the human heart. His enduring message was that the pursuit of peace, justice, and education was the only path to a truly harmonious world. As Fethullah Gulen Hojafende once said, "People come and go, but the works done in the name of God and humanity remain eternal." These words encapsulate the essence of his legacy. Though he is no longer with us, the values he championed will continue to inspire future generations. The schools, charitable organizations, and global efforts inspired by his vision will carry on the mission of peace, compassion, and understanding that he dedicated his life to. On October 20th, 2024, Fethullah Gulen Hojafende passed away in Pennsylvania, USA. With his departure, the world has lost one of its most influential Muslim scholars and advocates for social cohesion. His contributions to education, interfaith dialogue, and the promotion of peaceful coexistence will be remembered for generations to come. May God have mercy on him and reward him with the highest honors in the hereafter. His ideas and values will remain timeless. Fethullah Gulen Hojafende's teachings will continue to inspire countless individuals who seek to create a more just, peaceful, and compassionate world, ensuring that his legacy lives on in the hearts and minds of all who follow the path of service, education, and peace.
Service, education, and peace. I like that. Tonight's honoree will be presented by a very special guest and faith leader, Reverend Thomas L. Bowen. He is a senior advisor for public engagement, where he leads the White House Faith and Engagement. Previously, he served as the Director of African American Strategic Engagement in the Executive Office of D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser, and held dual roles as the Director of both the Mayor's Office on African American Affairs and the Mayor's Office of Religious Affairs, earning him the title of D.C.'s Pastor. Please help welcome to the stage, Please help me welcome to the stage Reverend Bowen.
Well, good evening, everyone. There is interfaith royalty in this room. So many of my heroes and sheroes, and it's an honor, a singular honor, to have the privilege to be here tonight to celebrate such a monumental milestone, the 25th anniversary of the Rumi Forum, and to recognize the outstanding contributions of remarkable leader and advocate, Imam Dr. Talib Sharif. Now, I must acknowledge the presence of my colleague in administration, Nicole Youngwood, who serves as the director of the Center for Faith-Based Neighborhood Partnerships at the Department of Homeland Security. Tonight, we celebrate not only the incredible work of the Rumi Forum, but also the legacy of his late honorary chairman, Fethullah Gulen. His unwavering commitment to peace, dialogue, and understanding has left an indelible mark on all of us. So we gather here with deep gratitude for his vision and to honor those like Imam Sharif who carry that legacy forward. Imam Dr. Talib Sharif is no stranger to this journey. He has spent a lifetime fostering unity and understanding in communities across the globe. And as the Imam of Masjid Muhammad, the nation's mosque, he has opened doors of dialogue and built bridges of compassion, promoting interfaith connection, not as a goal, but as a way of life. And if someone will call me DC's pastor, then Imam Talib is Mr. Interfaith. My church, the Shiloh Baptist Church, is in the same neighborhood, Shaw, as Masjid Muhammad. and I can bear witness personally to his impact. But I came to know him and to love him while serving as the director of the Mayor's Office of Religious Affairs as he sat on the Mayor's Interfaith Council. You can always count on Imam Talib. Steve Walker, the Deputy Chief of Staff of Mayor Bowser, is here, and he can attest to that. You're also with us, President and former members of the Mayor's Interfaith Council. And it's good to see you here supporting our colleague. Dr. Sharif Imam Talib has served in 5 U.S. cities and 7 military locations around the world, bringing his message of peace and unity to all who would listen. His distinguished service has earned him numerous accolades, including the Royal Medal from His Majesty Mohammed VI, King of Morocco, and the U.S. Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award. And if that weren't enough, he made history as the first imam with military service to open a session of the U.S. Congress with prayer. And of course, he's been a voice of leadership recognized by 2 of the greatest presidents ever, President Obama and my boss, President Biden. Tonight, we honor Imam Sharif, not only for his accomplishments, but for his enduring commitment to the work of peace. His journey reminds us that dialogue is not about converting one another, but about understanding one another, finding the common humanity that binds us all. If you ever have the chance that I've had to tiptoe on a Jumu'ah service on a Friday at Masjid Muhammad, you can see him standing firm, always talking about there's one race, the human race. He walks the walk, he talks the talk, and keeps rhyme and rhythm at the same time. Imam Sharif, on behalf of the Rumi Forum, on behalf of all of us here, and on behalf of a grateful community and society, it is my high honor to present you with the 2024 Dialogue Award. Imam Sharif, thank you for your leadership, your courage, and your relentless dedication to peace and understanding. I don't know when you enlisted in the Air Force, and I don't know the exact date that you were faithfully discharged, but this one thing I know, that you have never stopped faithfully serving. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, siblings, please join me in congratulating Imam Dr. Talib Sharif.
We're going to have a few more people come up. All right. Now would Dr. Ori Soltes and Rabbi Bernstein and Dr. Zeki please join Reverend Thompson Bound and Imam Talib Sharif to the stage for a photo. We're going to get everybody together. And as a fun reminder, you can tag yourself. Hashtag Rumi Forum is 25.
Yes, I was going to say yes. Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
All right. And now let's welcome to the stage Ibrahim Anli, Rumi Forum's Executive Director, for closing remarks. I'm kidding. Please come on up. Share a few thoughts as well.
Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We always give all praise and thanks to Almighty God, the merciful, the compassionate, and we greet you all with the greetings of something that is very dear to every human soul, and that is peace. Assalamu alaikum to you all. We're certainly grateful. We're certainly humbled. Reverend Bowen, thank you. Really appreciate you, your warm, wonderful remarks. We've been together, and he's right. We did a lot together, and I'm always responsible to him, and he's always been responsive to me as well. But in a lot of space, so we thank Allah. And so greatly appreciate you being able to take time out of your schedule. You know, there's a lot of things going on right now, so we appreciate you being here and also making the presentation. It certainly means a lot. As does the award mean a lot to me as well. And we're grateful, Dr. Zaki, Ibrahim, and Dr. Ori, really appreciate it as well. Always we want to thank Almighty God. We're very grateful to Almighty God. We say Alhamdulillah. We thank Him for blessing me to be this year's honoree. That's important. It wasn't expected, but we are grateful, and we are grateful to join those of the past, over the past 25 years that have done that, to be among those. I certainly want to congratulate the Rumi Forum. 25 years, platinum, 25 years. And consistency is something that Almighty God loves. 25 years straight. So we thank you, we applaud you. Dialogue is very important. This award is a ceremony, it's very important. And certainly, we want to express our deepest condolences and congratulations also on the transition of the recent passing of Fethu Gulen, a beautiful human being. I'm so grateful that I had an opportunity to visit him and spend some time with him and just see just how precious and productive and pious he is as a human being, you know, and we fell in love with him. And I'm also grateful to have participated in his funeral, his service, you know, to honor him, honor his life, honor his legacy, honor his leadership, as we've just seen. And starting out in this one country and now all over the world. What a legacy to leave. You know, he lived his life, as we all should. We should all live our life in service to and to please the one who gave us life. That's how he lived it. That's how he lived it, you know. Beautiful human being. He championed the inherent goodness and excellence of human life. He was a beautiful human being. Beautiful human being. He understood what it means to be a human being. And he showed so many of that. And again, this forum and many others around the world attest to that. His life is in the moral excellence, but it's upon his created purpose. Like all of us should find, he found his. We all should look and try to find what is your created purpose? Because you do have a purpose. Just like you have a fingerprint that no one else has. To make your imprint, to make your impression, your purpose. And we should find it. Once we find it, you will find content, just as he has. Just as he has. Very important. So we continue to pray for him. Continue to pray for him, as was mentioned, in his beautiful human soul. When I achieved the rank of chief, I spent 30 years in the United States Air Force. And this is when you become a chief, you don't get awards. So it's been a long time, you know, because you make sure everybody gets awards. You have to take care of people. And that's what I did. I took care of a lot of people. And so this came as a surprise to me, and my team would know me from this as well, that I look to take care of people, you know. And because, you know, a chief, that's the top 1%, you know, of the NCO ranks. And when I first became a chief, they said every chief should have a philosophy. And I said, okay. All right, so I had a philosophy. And my philosophy was 3 P's and appeal. Now, it doesn't sound like much on the plate. But Three P's, and because this is not necessarily the order, but these are the three P's. The first three is people, plan, and perseverance. And the P is prayer, improvement, and life. Now, I'm not going to do a drill down on each one of those, but I will say that the first P, people, it reminds us that just as we are blessed to have life, just as we are blessed to have birth, as a result of people. You don't come here without people. You're only here because of people. So people is very important. And I have to say, Ibrahim knows this. Today is also my birthday. Yeah. Thank you. But again, just as with the gift of life, no one does or achieves anything in a vacuum without people. And God say, don't thank him if you can't thank people, because that's the reality. We have to be able to thank people. So certainly I want to thank the people in my life. And of course that goes back to mother, father, wife, siblings, children, my uncle, Imam Warathuddin Muhammad, who put us on his path. And some don't know that I helped pioneer chaplaincy, Islamic chaplaincy in the United States military. Muhammad Ali, we was at the Pentagon with him in the 80s and then in the 90s, and then we had our first chaplain in 1993. All those people, have to thank them. We have many of the faith leaders in here, our peers. It is a beautiful picture just being here and seeing some of those that we've done the work together, locally, nationally, and also internationally. Some we've traveled around the world doing certain things. So it's just good to be here and to see that. And on up to my superb team, the staff and the board, several of whom are in this room, many are at the table over here, and we're just so grateful to them. Tonight, as was mentioned, we celebrate, we commemorate Rumi Forum's legacy of interfaith dialogue. It's dedicated work to foster peace, religious pluralism, and yes, social harmony. This is a very important work. And we see the state of the world right now. There are so much concerns, but this is what gives people hope. And this is why this is so important to even be getting this award that we're getting, that they've been giving this award out. It's important recognition. Because as human beings, this speaks to us and tells us that Rumi Forum addresses the biggest contributor to hate. The biggest contributor to hate. And that is also to not embracing our shared identity as humans and living together peacefully and intelligently. And what is that? What is the biggest contributor to hate? It's fear. Fear of the unknown. And that brings us insecurity, that brings us mistrust. And it stems from lack of, and it was mentioned earlier by Dr. Zaki, understanding. That's why dialogue is so important. Understanding is the key. Hate starts from negative assumptions. I mean, we're battling all across the globe right now. Negative images, negative beliefs about people, about a certain group. Howard Thurman, he said, fear is the great enemy of community. And we know communities come unity. So, this is the big enemy. So what we don't understand, we fear. And we've heard it before, but this is how it starts off. It's natural, faith and fear. This is the beginning of human life. What we don't understand, we fear. And what we fear, we hate, and we begin to judge it as bad or evil. So this is just the cycle of how it goes. And then what we judge as bad or evil, then we try to control it. So this is the levels and things that we're seeing in society. And what we cannot control, then we seek to eliminate, we seek to attack. All stemming from us not coming together and just getting to know each other. getting to know each other. It's so important. You know, it's why it's a popular chapter that many in interfaith, even Christians and Jews quote now also, that's in the Quran, where he speaks about, Ya ayyuhan nasu, inna khalaqnakum min dhakarin wa untha, wa ja'alnakum shu'uban wa qabaila li ta'arrafu. Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. So this verse really speaks to the problem, the issue, and also the solution. And I'm not going to be able to get into the whole thing, but just how it starts off. You know, God says, "Yeah, ayyuhan nas." He's speaking to all of humanity. "Yeah, ayyuhan nasu. Verily, surely, we created you from a male and a female." So is there anyone in this room that doesn't have in them a male and a female? Is there anyone in this room that didn't come from a male and a female? So this is something that's common. He immediately gives us something that is common. And then right there, you know, in this word nas also means, you know, we translate nas sometimes as mankind, which speaks to our nature. We're supposed to be kind. We're supposed, and man is the big picture, not man. Man in the big definition is man and woman, right? We're supposed to be kind. But male, female, but that also speaks to mother, father. Mother and father. We all have a mother and father. Who doesn't have it? If you're here, it's by way of that. Now we know other things happen. People may lose a mother, lose a father. Some may have two fathers, some may have two mothers, these kind of things after the fact. But this is how you get here. Something from a mother, something from a father. And then God gives us a picture that's a universal picture. Regardless of what your race is, regardless of your ethnicity, regardless of your nationality, there's a universal picture. That when we come here, first of all, we are not aware of ourselves as a race. We are not aware of our ethnicity. We are not aware of our nationality. We are human, totally, completely human first. Just like Adam. Adam was human first, didn't have those things. But God lets us know in Scripture that when he says something that's so powerful, that you see in the past, you don't have to keep looking in the past. So we see Adam in the distance. But God said, I'm going to show you Adam every time a child is born. So we see Adam again, how we come here. But the universal picture is this. The mother and the father holds the child right by the heart. The mother and the father holds the child right by the heart. That is an endearing picture of love and also of God's compassion. We heard about Fethu Gulen speaking about love and peace. This is very important for human beings to have. Our Creator has given us this picture. We should love. You know, Nelson Mandela, he said, no one is born hating another person. He said hate is taught. He said if hate can be taught, then so can love. And he said, and love should be easier because it's closer to the human heart. And I just show you a natural picture. Our life starts off close to the heart. And then Almighty God, in his wisdom, he put the food right there. Put the food right where the mother want to hold a new life, right by the heart. This is what God's trying to tell us. And he said he created us from a male and a female, and he calls us to have differences. Tribes, nations, different features. And of course, the translation, you say, not to despise, not to hate, but that is to spark curiosity so we can get to know each other. Just get to know each other. We are 99.9% human. That's science. It already said that. You know, 99.9. That means the shades, the tongues, all that only represents that 0.1%. We can share body parts. I used to work, and I'm gonna get ready to close this out. I used to I'll mention the Air Force. One of my jobs in the Air Force was I was over the military equal opportunity, and we had a chance to bring in an individual that was second in command of one of the white supremacist, white national hate group, and he did some cruel things. And but some things happened in his life. 5 things in particular happened in his life. I'll just mention 3. I want to just mention this one for a minute. But he's no longer doing that. So we brought him in to talk about it. So one of the things that happened is he had 2 sons, one 3-year-old and he had a 6-year-old. And one day, he and the 3-year-old, they were watching a comedy show. It was an all African American comedy show. It's an older show. And it had the father and the 3-year-old, I mean, they were laughing. They were laughing. It was so loud, they were on the floor. The 6-year-old came into the room. And the 6-year-old violently turned off the television. And then he looked at his father. He said, "Daddy, what's wrong with you?" Now, he's telling us this story. He said, son said, "Daddy, what's wrong with you? You know we don't laugh with these and at these," and he used the N-word. And the 3-year-old, I mean, he's still trying to get it together. He didn't know what was going on. And the father, seeing the 3-year-old and then seeing the 6-year-old, then that began to bring some of the wall down. That's not what did it, but he began to chip at that wall that he had put up, that hate. Because there was something that was universal about laughter and innocence there. Now, this next one is what I wanted to mention. His mother was sick. And 2 of these things, of these 5 things, were surrounded around his mother. And we know how dear we are when it comes to mother. And where they were in a situation to where she needed a kidney or something. She was very sick. And of course, he didn't want no quote unquote black working on her. But that was the one that was the best doctor to help her. And he was working on her. And so she needed a kidney. Now, the other thing is, she ended up getting a kidney, and generally you don't know where these kidneys come from. But in this case, it became clear, it was known that it came from a quote-unquote black. And the kidney did not reject. It was like it was her own kidney. And this was one of the things that really turned the light on for him. He said, "I hate these people. But we can literally save each other's life with our body parts." The body part was not white. The body part was not black. The kidney was not Chinese. It was not it's a human kidney. And we all have human hearts, human lungs, etc. And that did the biggest thing, one. And so we should care about each other. I'm going to end with this. We have members of the folklore here, which we have a relationship that goes back it's about 20, almost 30 years. We have a model that we started with our community here in America, the Muslim community, and the Christian community called the folklore. That's beyond what most models are, that brings just the leaders together. We actually have our communities, our meeting, the communities beyond the leaders. In fact, both our leaders have passed, but the communities have stayed together and they're working together. They're doing things together. They're celebrating each other's birthdays and everything across the nation and outside the world. This is where we want to get to. Now, that leader, the leader of the folklore, Carol Lubrick, we call her the Blessed Lady Carol Lubrick, we had a tradition similar to our tradition in our early days, where the leader would give a name, to one of the followers. So she had a follower named was Bill. And Bill wanted a name. He asked, "Give me a name." And so time went by, then she came and she finally gave Bill a name. But the name she gave Bill was Bill. She just took an L off. And it was still Bill. And he said, "I wanted to do." She said, "Bill." She said, "Bill is for believe in love. Believe in love." So I end with that. Thank you. I'm very honored. And best regards and congratulations again on the 25th anniversary of such a wonderful, powerful award and history. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was so beautiful. Okay, and now, welcome to the stage, Ibrahim Anli, Rumi Forum's Executive Director, for closing remarks.
Thank you, Natalie. And it's one of the best moments to deliver your remarks is after a constellation of speakers. So that's what I'm doing right now. You have to have a plan to fail, really, after these great remarks. And please give a big round of applause to this wonderful panel tonight. And I'll share a bit of my personal story with Rumi Forum. 20 years ago, I was an international student here in Washington, D.C., and my first encounter in an organized, interfaith, interreligious setting was in a volunteer role with Rumi Forum. And then back to Turkey, where I was born and raised, and then followed by Israel, Palestine, and followed by a year and a half in Kurdistan, another year and a half in Japan. I literally made a full circle around the globe, coming back to the US, to Rumi Forum 15 years later. And the reason I'm telling this is that luminary said, come again. My point is he means it, take it just serious. I want to begin with a few other notes of gratitude, without which tonight's message would be incomplete. First, to our wonderful MC that led our ceremony tonight, to Natalie. Thank you. And to the great Sufi Melody for their performance. Always appreciate that collaboration. And to our wonderful volunteers who are just spread around the room, and without whose energy and dedication this event would not be possible. And the two remaining members of our giant staff team, Mehmet, make yourself visible. There you go. Who leads our research center, and there you at these tables on your way out, you'll see a treasure of publications that he facilitated, and Tezcan. Who leads our leadership development program, basically training the bridge builders of the next generation. As we conclude this memorable event celebrating Rumi Forum's 25th anniversary, remembering our late honorary chairman Fethullah Gülen's legacy, and recognizing our esteemed honoree Imam Talib Sharif's endeavor, I'm filled with profound gratitude. Tonight, we not only honor a milestone in our journey, but also reaffirm our commitment to strengthening bonds of social trust and advancing civil discourse. Reflecting on the past 25 years, it's inspiring to consider how far Rumi Forum came. It was born from a simple yet profound idea, as our founder summarized very elaborately, that dialogue can bridge divides and foster peace. Over the years, the forum gathered thousands of people from diverse backgrounds to share their stories, listen, and learn. Each conversation, each connection brought us together to realizing a world where empathy and mutual respect can prevail over differences. We owe our progress to the incredible people who have been part of this journey, our volunteers, partners, allies, who are mostly represented in this room, and every one of you who support and champion this vision. Your presence, insights, and generosity have been the foundation of our work and the fuel for our future. I therefore take this opportunity to ask your renewed support as we envision the next chapter. Your contributions in our 25th year fundraiser will enable us to expand our work of building relationships, offering learning opportunities, and mobilizing leaders in the greater Washington, D.C. area. As we look to the future, our mission is more important than ever. In a world where divisions can feel insurmountable, the role of Rumi Forum and like-minded organizations Their importance is vital and cannot be exaggerated. So with that note, I just quote this little Circassian anecdote. I'm married to a Circassian woman, so I have a lot of anecdotes of those. And if you are curious, just Google Circassian and you'll understand what my life is like. And the Circassian man is just walking on the road and finds a horseshoe and says, okay, that's great. All I need is 3 more and a horse. So I send you everyone from this night out of this room with this profound hope of the Circassian guy. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Abraham. And I want to just thank everyone one more time for being in community with all of us tonight. And as we move forward, may the spirit of unity drive us towards a more peaceful and equitable world. Thank you.